I don't think they're serious.
I am serious that he needs to be off the team.
Why?
Because what does he do that's special? Yeah, he's sometimes like this year is now showing us that he can play a little bit of running back. Like can Khalil Herbert not take that carry? Can
He fits
No,
the
I don't
Bear
think they do because they're not
of
fast.
causing a giant shit show at all costs.
And no, to answer your question, I don't think they get 9 yards per carry because they're not that fast.
I don't know why they don't like Khalil Herbert. The dude runs so hard. But we're live, Joe. So anytime you want to introduce us and call us sexy.
Oh, he just bummed me out. Talking about getting started talking about Velus Jones. Talking about Velus Jones and his 9 yards per carry. Okay, I got the box score right here. What the fuck did this motherfucker do? He ended up taking like 3 carries, right?
4 carries.
He took two rushes for 11 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. His longest carry was 6 yards. And in the passing game, he caught 1 pass for 8 yards on 1 target. Great job. You caught your only target. Oh, you fumbled. You have the only fumble on this sheet, fumble giveaway on the sheet. Roman and Caleb each have 1 as well, but they didn't lose theirs. Thanks to I don't know what the hell happened with that Adunze fumble. But I just like – well, yeah. And then it came up, was it Jenkins? Tevin Jenkins came away with it down in the red zone. It just like you guys tell me each and every week, oh, he's a weapon. He's a weapon. Oh, this and that. And like, is he worth the fumble on the kickoff return?
No, that's not. Don't put him in positions you know he's not good at.
Well, the kickoff return was the only thing we were talking about until we finally found this newfound skill that he can be a running back, that he can be a gadget running back. So now he can't be a kickoff returner because he's not really good at that. But we built him up as a
I didn't say he wasn't good at that. He was a good kickoff returner. I don't know what he was fucking doing.
You just said we didn't put him in good position. The kick came straight to him.
Well.
It went straight through his breadbasket onto his foot and then 25 yards at the Titans player. Like what other positions do you put
I think he hit the ground and then he kicked it. We should probably put him at kicker apparently.
What other positions do you put a kick returner at other than that? Go receive the ball. But I guess he's not good at that now. But he is a special gadget running back. And so, okay. It's just like, fine. Leave him at running back. See what he can do for sure. Like the second that he has a real good game, I'll be really celebrating him. But it just... The season couldn't have started off any worse, only to have finished week 1 and welcome him to the Believe in Monsters podcast. We finished week 1 with a victory, and oh my gosh, it looked like every single Bears game I've ever seen in my life for the last 20 years I've been watching or so, and we thought it was going to be something different with rookie quarterbacks. This is the Believe in Monsters podcast. It may not sound like we won, but the Bears are 1-0. You're watching us. We're here to recap the Bears win over the Titans and get us set up for next week's game against the Houston Texans. Next week's win against the Houston Texans. We got all the kinks out in week 1. You can follow Lucas Berry at lberry_40. Christopher Krogman at Sky Bears 1985. We're just going to call you last names, Krogman, Barry. You guys, we know each other well enough. You can call me Gaither if you want to. And this is the Believe in Monsters podcast. Follow us at BIM_pod, part of the Believe Network. Excuse me. Talking Chicago Bears. Barry. Are you happy we're 1-0? Or are you feeling a little bit icky about it? What's your take on week number 1? I'll just open it up to you.
Snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I mean, you got to take them when they hand them to you, and this is why I was so happy to play the Titans week 1, because the Bears somehow found a team that was worse than them off the bat. So lucky to come out with a win. We'll take it. You know, these are important later in the year. How many times have the Bears started the season slow and then midway through the year we're like, well, if only we would have won that game, if only we would have done this or that. So winning that game was huge. Takes a lot of pressure off this week, which, you know, damn well for sure if they lost last week, we'd be like, the Bears have to win or their season's in jeopardy on Sunday night. Now I can watch this game and be like, well, if they lose and get out of there 1-1, it's not the worst case scenario. It's kind of where we thought they would be anyway. So we'll take it. But I guess I don't know what we could take away from that game. It was ugly. The quarterback play looked just as bad as every other quarterback we've ever had. I don't know. That
Quarterback play all over the league looked like shit. Just throwing that out there.
That's true.
It did, but this was. I know all the other rookie quarterbacks look bad, but the bar is just a little bit higher for Caleb, man. At least if you're going to go out there and say you're not nervous, back it up. Don't go out there and look like you're shitting your pants.
Nervous. He looked nervous.
Just take it on the chin and be like, yeah, I was nervous first start, whatever, no big deal. But you put yourself out there, karma bites you in the ass.
Well, that's great. That's fucking awesome. That's a great attitude. Relying on karma.
What'd you think about week number 1?
Darrell Taylor is a fucking find, man. Dude was elite pushing skills. Different rip and forced fumble, and
I was listening to last week's episode, and I remember you saying in that episode you hope J.C. Latham has a horrible start to the NFL.
He did.
Well, Darrell Terrell welcomed him to the NFL pretty quickly on a few occasions there.
Dude, I was like, I like when we make last minute changes like that, like with Chris Williams and Darrell Taylor, I'm like, who the fuck is 91, dude? We got Tommy Harris back? Like,
a 54 is throwing me through a loop. I was like,
who's the 52 character? Did we get Khalil Mack back?
52, sorry, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know he was wearing that. And when I saw him out there, I was like, whoa.
Didn't that Titans guy come on here last week and say the Titans were going to win?
He did.
Titans film room. At Titans film room, let him know that he was wrong.
I was gonna.
The Bears won without an offensive fucking point.
So, one of my good buddies who I've been on their podcast a few times was telling me all off season. He's like, my lock of the century, $400 bet is going on Titans plus 4.5. Rookie quarterbacks, number 1 picks are haven't won a game since blah blah blah. And all I said to him all offseason was, Will Levis is horrible, dude. I would never place any money on that man. And then he just got the worst beat of his life, up 17-3 at half, and the Bears don't even score an offensive touchdown and win.
I mean, how in the world are you going to be Will Levis flinging that ball out like that? That's one of the worst.
Because he got away with it the time before.
Yeah, he did.
That's
like, that one, they should have called intentional grounding because you can't do that shit anymore. You can't just fucking
it's just
throw
like
it away and be like,
it's just like you can't do a free play anymore. But Rodgers gets it all the time. He scored again off it last night.
Why can't you do a free play anymore?
Refs always blow it dead unless you're Aaron Rodgers. He's literally the only dude that ever gets a play after the whistle.
We got one last year with Fields.
Yeah, but they're supposed to blow it dead.
Man, they never blow it dead for Rodgers. I digress.
Yeah, whatever. Why are we still so mad at Aaron Rodgers?
What do we want to start with?
I need Garrett Wilson to have a monster season, okay? Can we just shut the fuck up?
You're right, though, Chris.
Or the terrible play of the quarterback, or what? What do we want to start with? Because, there was some really, some phenomenal defense and special teams. But you also had some.
Jalen Johnson is a dude. Jalen Johnson is outrageously good. So glad we paid that dude. I'm telling, that was my favorite signing or extension that we did. Defensively, fantastic. Javon Dexter looked good.
Oh yeah.
Taylor already mentioned.
Bears had
I think got triple, double, quadruple team the whole game.
Bears had the second highest pressure rate on the week, which I don't think I would ever think of hearing them all year in that category. So we'll take that. Almost 50% win rate. on pass rush. It's impressive.
Lucas, a buddy of mine that's in one of our leagues, had the Bears defense in 2 leagues
Me too.
and dropped them for Cincinnati Sunday morning.
Ooh, both of them?
Both of them.
Oh.
Yep. I was like, bro. He's like, yep.
Bears got me like 24 points.
I was gonna say, I had Dallas, and that was the only defense I had that did any good. But yeah, Bears defense was the start of the week. Wish I'd have played them in DFS. Oh well.
Man, I want to give my freaking game ball to Richard Hightower, though. What a game from the special teams all around.
Yeah.
Minus the fumble.
I can't, man, don't ever call my dude freaking Mr. Simone Biles again. Fucking ridiculous.
Dude,
she ain't out there blocking kicks.
Daniel Hardy, the undrafted guy that made the roster, blocked that kick. That was a great
Special
design.
Teamers.
That was a great design.
Super Bowl.
And then
Bears.
I think the Bears did something I haven't seen any other team do yet this year that we'll probably see more of. They ran a counter. Block? No, they ran a counter off the they ran a counter off the kickoff. And what's his name looks pretty damn good back there.
Yeah.
DeAndre Carter.
Looks better than Jones.
It looked like Darnell Mooney.
Dude, he did look. The 11's throwing me off, man.
11 still. It looks exactly like his same body type. I mean, it looks like Darnell Mooney.
You were right there, Chris. Open up the show. Offense across the league was down. So, I mean, really, it is hard to take too much away from this without overreacting. I mean, at this point in the NFL, week 1 is basically a preseason game for the starters because you're not getting any fully live reps in the preseason that are meaningful, like defenses trying to actually take your head off, running crazy concepts, that kind of stuff. So,
dude, what's wild is like the Saints won like 47 to whatever, and Derek Carr threw for less than 300 yards.
Yeah. Was there a quarterback that threw for over 300 yards this week? I don't think there was.
I don't think there was either.
I don't think there was. I do think somebody got close.
I think Baker had like 285 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, offenses are down first week of the season.
You got to think about how much or little preseason these guys played, as Luke just said, and you've got new quarterback, 2 new receivers in Keenan Allen and Roman Dunze, which, by the way, fuck you, Keenan Allen. You dropped that touchdown pass, even though you were missed on a couple other good opportunities.
Did you see the
why did he get 44% of the target share?
Did you guys see the the zoomed out film of the play right after he dropped the touchdown?
No.
He was wide open again, and that was the play where I think Ryan Bates took his turn getting absolutely shit canned up the middle. Everyone in that interior got it at least once, but it would have been he was wide open for another touchdown right after that. And
I wouldn't have thrown it his way either after you dropped the first one.
Dude, I'll tell you what, freaking like Brock Purdy was under pressure pretty much all night last night and got it away hella quick. And if that's like I didn't see enough of that out of the Bears offense. Was enough, not quick game out to the sides, quick game over the middle, quick throwing into the blitz. Like maybe Caleb's not there yet, he can't recognize it, but that's what I need to see.
Man, it's honestly more concerning than Caleb and that. It was just like, say whatever, it's his first start, but like that offensive line does have me slightly concerned because I knew they weren't going to be the interior at least, going to be a great unit coming into this, but that was just really, really, really bad stuff.
It's a good D-tackle combo though, too.
Sure, but
second round monster and Jeffrey Simmons. So.
Yeah, it was his first game starting too. I mean, I don't know.
When you're put next to an all-pro like Simmons, it makes your job a lot easier.
No, I get it. I'm just saying it's.
But you're right. They didn't hold up. They look like shit. They got fucking. Well, that linebacker straight destroyed Coleman Shelton on that one.
Yeah, and it wasn't even just that though. Too, it was like Tevin played probably one of the worst games I've ever seen as a pro. from him, which is disappointing. You know, he wants his money. And then we know who Nate Davis is. I mean, he just did
The
that
guy on a milk
screenplay.
box.
That screenplay was so bad.
Yeah, he's not good. Not good at all. Joe, what do you got there? Golf club? Get your driver out.
I got a bunch of old golf clubs behind me that I need to throw away. This is
Throw away.
Dude, I love how your dog is just coming through the background of the Titans guy.
Cleveland launcher in my hand. This is the Cleveland launcher, 10.5 degree driver.
It's better than a Cleveland steamer.
The other main story around the offense was the snap count. A little wonky. So
Yeah,
apparently
Cole
Komet is not going to lose his. He's just going to lose snaps to freaking Gerald Everett because they think that they need a Y tight end or whatever.
And he's not good. He's not good at it.
He's not good at it.
Cole Kmet would be just fine at it. It would be even better at the same reps.
I just don't like that explanation, man. It's fucking stupid. We finally have two good options at tight end, so Cole's gonna get a third of the snaps he should have got. Like, what?
Hey, you just paid him. Use him.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a long season. Last year, I think he did get pretty banged up and worn down just because he was playing basically all three tight end spots and just getting the shit kicked out.
He's fine now, though.
It's a long
season. But I'm just saying, it's week one.
I don't need to see him on a pitch count to start the season.
No, exactly.
You want to fucking break him in, use him
Cole RoboCop
50-50 throughout the year? Fine. If that was even 50-50, I think Gerald Everett outsnapped him like 50-30 or some shit. It wasn't that much.
You guys thought I was messing around about this all offseason. I wasn't joking.
No, that wasn't your reasoning, though. You didn't say he wasn't going to be on the fucking field.
I told you he was going to chew into a lot of what he does.
They were supposed to run 12 and all this shit. They're running no 12. They're running 11 with Gerald Everett out there.
Throwing him screens.
You suck. You have low effort.
Well, he ain't going anywhere. He's been Waldron's buddy since he entered the league, so it is what it is.
Let's embrace the cheer for him. Let's go, Gerald. Woohoo! Jerry's kids. All right. Love it.
Yeah, the other thing that was weird about the offense, too, was just like whenever the Bears ran too wide, I mean, it was always Keenan Allen and DJ. And a lot of those reps, I mean, probably heard this point thrown around, but like, you don't want Keenan Allen out there clearing out the corner. That dude already has a heel injury. You want your freaking young wide receiver out there clearing out the corner if you're just going to have him run down the field for cardio. Don't put those extra reps on old man Keenan Allen.
Cardio.
Keenan Allen sucks. Get his ass off the field and groom Tyler Scott right now.
Shut up. Joe's hatred for Keenan Allen is something else.
Joe's hatred of everything everywhere is...
No, I like me some Caleb Williams. The offensive line sucks ass, except for you, Darnell Wright. I love you, sweet baby boy. I like you. We need to get Cole Kmet involved in the offense. We need to get more downhill run. But that's really tough to do when the middle of the offensive line is getting blown up. Every time you try to do that. So.
Well, I don't understand. Like Luke, what Lucas was saying is, why didn't they attack the edges? And again, I've been saying it for 3 years, 4 years, like however long I've been on this podcast. Wide zone.
Well, dude, Chris,
that's what Swift looks great in.
He looked good at it. They do it a couple times.
Well, they did it in the first quarter.
They started with it. And he looked great.
Yeah, and then in the fourth they came back to it, and he leaped over the dude for the 20-yard gain to ice the game.
Exactly. So how much of this is also like preseason for Shane Waldron as well? Like, what kind of buttons do I have to press? Like, this is all like.
Well,
how much of this goes all the way up to stupid George, and everybody's like, oh, it's Matt Eberflus and he's conservative. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the reason like every single coach that comes through Chicago is told, don't turn the ball over, play defense. My mom doesn't want to see you throw interceptions.
Yeah, that's Eberflus's new thing. Punt on every or kick on every drive. I said
It's
punt on
the
every
dumbest
drive.
thing I've ever heard.
Same thing.
No, that's a good thing. You end every drive.
They went for not when you go for 2, you ain't kicking nothing.
Well, they kicked on every drive and they didn't score a touchdown.
They didn't kick on every drive. They went for 2.
That wasn't a drive.
Did they score points? It's a drive.
It's not a drive if the defense scores.
Sure it is.
Okay.
No way.
It was an offensive drive that the defense turned over and went and scored.
Okay.
All right, whatever.
Take your word.
I think in the grand scheme of things, though, if you're assigning a blame pie to this game, I would probably put less than 10% on Shane Waldron.
Less than 10%?
Watch the All-22, Joe. I'm telling you, there was guys wide open everywhere. All game. And something derailed every single time. Mostly the line. And some of it was Caleb just not setting his feet, not playing well. But there were guys open. Huge plays left all over the field.
Would you say, like, I haven't seen the All-22. Did the
Cole Kmet was open a lot, actually, too, when he was out there.
Was it more that, like, the line didn't give him enough time and they were slow developing plays and guys were wide open, like, as he was getting hit? Or was it like guys were wide open, like, right away, but there was just no time from jump?
It was a mix of both, but quite literally something derailed almost every play they had on offense. And it was mostly the offensive line's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was like when he did have a chance to throw, like the Keenan Allen play, he just overshot him. And if you saw that play too, you look to the other side, DJ Moore was wide open as well. He could have thrown it over there, and he probably had even more space to throw to him, but he'd have to throw it across the field.
Well, I just chalk this up to week 1. Like, I don't count. Like, am I frustrated? I'm a little frustrated. Yes, for sure. But overall, I feel like it's just like we're going to be a work in progress offensively for about 4 to 6 weeks, and by then, and like that's the good part about having the schedule being so soft. Hopefully, the defense and the special teams and the offense can be just enough. The offense can get better, but
I don't think the schedule's out. Like, the next 2 weeks are tough, man. The Texans and then the Colts.
Colts suck.
So,
right. Yep. Keep preaching that Adrian, that A-Rod, or that kid sucks, dude, because he looked fucking elite again.
I do want to ask you guys.
Houston's good.
I want to ask you guys about this offense thing while we're talking about it here. So, I do think Waldron did not. I don't think he really babied this offense where he like made it like, oh, it's your first start. We're going to make this super simple on you. Like, I think he ran like kind of not complex shit, but more challenging shit off the bat. Where if you guys watch the Washington game, they literally threw a screen with Jaden Daniels on almost every play. And it was the same thing. I don't think he played well, but like his passes were just gimme throws all game. But like on 3rd and 2, Shane Waldron was dialing a home run up, which I like. I love the aggressiveness. Don't just run up the middle and take your 1-yard loss. Like, I love the fact that he was throwing that deep ball. And they had him. They had the play drawn up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about that? Like, should he be dumbing this down, or do you like that he's like, you know, letting him
let him
throw it deep and learn that way?
So, like I was telling the guy last week from Titans Film Room, I hope they throw all kinds of shit at him, and they did. They threw all kinds of defensive looks at him.
That defensive game plan was solid on their end.
Yeah, their new defensive coordinator with his background had a good game plan for the Bears, for Caleb, and I'm glad that he saw a lot of shit, because like one thing I mentioned, a couple of weeks ago is once he sees something, he's got that recall, and he's not gonna make the same mistakes again. So, I mean, he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't throw any picks or anything like that, but he missed some wide open throws. So I anticipated getting better. First game jitters. You call it nerves. You can call it whatever you want. Anxiety. Too much, wanting to get it done and just overhyping yourself and missing throws. Whatever. But the kids got the demeanor. I mean, everybody was so sad that we were losing Justin Fields because how well he handled Chicago, the city, and freaking Caleb's demeanor is like 10 times better.
Yeah, no, I think that there needs to be a few layups, a few. Oh, here's an easy completion. But largely, I want you to stay true to who you are, Shane Waldron. If you're gonna dial it up and get us down the field, go vertical, then be that. Be who you are. But I would like to see a smattering of a few layups, a few easy. Here's a quick slant. Here's just a quick screen. Here's your bubble. Here's your one where you get the ball out in half a second and you see a completion. And from there, that's on the rest of the offense.
And even I feel like with the easy stuff he gave them, the Titans knew exactly when it was coming. Like, I don't know, I saw at least 3 or 4 screens or flat routes that just got absolutely blown up right from the jump. And it was just like, you can't. It's tough to run that when they know it's coming. I would have liked him to see him try and move the pocket a little bit more. I don't think they did that a ton in the game.
Yeah,
No.
A few times. I mean, you can't do it too much. But I think, Chris, you kind of hit it on the head. Like, the big thing that I guess we didn't see a ton of was like slants. Definitely want to see more over the middle passing.
Right.
And
Well,
and the run game, obviously, I think needs work. But
he had those tip pass problems because he's tiny. So, but Brock Purdy's not very tall. Kyler's clearly not tall. He can play quarterback in the NFL and not be tall. Be fine. All right.
Knocked down.
We are 30 minutes into this shindig shit show. Anything else from the Titans that we want to talk about?
just happy we came out with a win. Look back on this later in the year and be like, thank God we beat that team.
They suck.
We had zero business winning that game.
That's crazy.
It's the old cliche of good teams find ways to win games they should not be winning. Hey, man, if this defense is going to be that legit, that's really the best thing that could possibly happen for Caleb while he develops is, have the defense carry him for a little bit.
And 2 field
You guys
goals?
think they still need another defensive lineman? What do you think of Chris Williams? You watched the All-22, Lucas?
Yeah, I basically just watched the offense. Defense, I honest to God just skipped right through because I was like,
I'm surprised you haven't brought up your boy Andrew Billings yet.
the tank.
I thought that was one of Chris's favorites.
Billings was a freaking beast, dude.
Yeah, he's an absolute monster. I'm surprised how they used him on in the passing, like with the pass rush, because he was there.
Rush
He was
a little bit.
Some he was in there on third. He was collapsing pockets, and that's like what I don't know who was talking about it, but you can have Montez Sweat and Darrell Taylor collapsing edges all you want. Oh, I think it was like one of the guys on CHGO, like Briggs or Brown or Corey Wooten. If you don't have the guys up the middle to collapse the pocket, it's not going to work. And big man Billings definitely collapsed his pockets. And Dexter had a good game, man. I was very, very happy. I love D tackles, man. That's the position I played in high school, so that's what I like.
Man, that defense,
not one tech so much because that wasn't me.
6'4", 285-pound Chris Krogman back in 1964 in high school, dominating people up front at the defensive line position.
with the one bar face mask.
Absolutely.
No to most of that. 285 might be accurate, but it was not 6'4".
You guys know who else had a very solid game? I thought DeMarcus Walker. I thought was pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, and he's been one that we haven't loved before.
You haven't loved before.
We can kind of segue this into the next game, but
Houston.
Why did Marcus Walker play for Houston? How the hell did we segue that? That's the
No,
worst
no,
segue
no.
ever. Walker, Texas Ranger. Now I get it.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Got you.
No, I was gonna say we saw it last year where the Bears defense kind of dominated these bad offenses, but got beaten up a little bit versus some good teams, which I mean you expect to happen, but I feel like there was not quite a significant drop off, but a big enough drop off when they played, better opponents and better quarterbacks. It was fairly noticeable. Do you guys think this defense is ready for the test of like the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts the next 2 weeks? Like, you don't think this is just a, flash in the pan? Do you think they're actually maybe not going to be this good, but do you actually think they're going to continue being like a phenomenal defense moving forward, or kind of fall more back to the upper middle of the pack?
This week's going to be challenging, but I like the matchup against the Colts. I know y'all give me shit about Anthony Richardson, but I like the matchup against this week's. But this week's going to be challenging. C.J. Stroud's good. He's got $1.5 billion wide receivers to throw to, and a backfield full of talent. I think it's going to be a challenge this week for sure.
So, number one, fuck Joe Mixon. It's forever fuck Joe Mixon, because Cincinnati never used him like Houston did last week, getting 30 carries. That's not going to continue throughout the year. The Colts also
gave him these huge rush lanes because they were dropping a ton of defenders in coverage because they were terrified. Like,
yeah, I honestly think it's going to be a good test, but after seeing how they adjusted to the Titans, because the Titans ran the ball down our throat in that third drive or whatever they had.
Yeah, the Titans had 1 or 2 drives all game, I feel like.
But the Titans have a good offensive line. I mean, they signed that center from Denver. They had Skoronski they drafted last year. They drafted Latham this year. And even if he sucked in the pass game, he's still a good big run blocker, or at least he's a big dude and gets in the way. And I know the Texans have a good offensive line. They have a good run game. They mix and fits their zone scheme like everybody in their motherfucking runs except for us. So I think it's going to be a good test. But you know who actually, I forgot, like, who showed out? Dude, TJ Edwards showed out. Like, he was all over the place in this game. Like, he made play after play. He missed a couple of tackles here and there, but, like, him and Edmonds are fantastic. For all the shit that we heard coming out of camp last year, they spent all this money on linebackers and they fucking suck. Those guys are dogs.
Man,
I think they would be all over Mixon.
That Edmonds tackle might have saved the game last week too, when he tackled the dude short of the sticks.
Yeah, Tajay Spears tackle, like right, like a yard at the sticks. That dude's fast as shit, and Edmonds at 6'5", 250 ran that dude down. From
across the field too.
The field, like
that's why you pay him that contract, man. That was insane.
Yeah, Roquan's still making that play. Also, when did he become such a dirty bitch? Roquan Smith.
He's always been a little crybaby.
Like crying that Mahomes flopped on the play, he pushed him out of bounds. And then talking tough like he's going to fight like number 88 on the Chiefs next time he sees him. Like, bro, an STD kept you out of a game. Stop it. You're soft. Like, oh my God. Like, he's a talented dude, but what a weirdo. Anyway, this is a Bears podcast.
Yeah, this will be a fun one though. Sunday Night Football, of course. Stop putting the Bears on primetime beginning of the season.
Yeah, not this early, man. Oh, we want to
especially versus the Texans. Like,
we're gonna beat them.
They're gonna throw the house at him.
We're gonna win. It's going to
Nico
be
Ryans
Caleb Williams dropping his nuts on Will Anderson's face all day.
Nico
Gotta
It's
Ryans.
going
stop
to be
him.
cleaning up everything that you saw from this past week. That they're going to, because the Houston Texans are going to copycat 95% of this stuff that, like, oh, yeah, that gave him trouble. He's going to see that, and he's going to know the adjustment, and it's going to be 55 points for the Bears.
Here's the thing about the Texans.
What's the thing
Their
about
strength on their line is their D ends.
it?
And I would say the Bears' best players on their offensive line are their tackles.
Yes.
So it should set up for a better matchup up front. Obviously, Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter are both very good players, but I like the Bears' chances with the offensive line better this week just because they don't have that guy at a 3 technique who's going to completely destroy the game like Simmons and Fatboy did last week.
Devondre Sweat. Yeah, Simmons got into it a little bit with him, obviously, going back to their comments beforehand. Caleb Williams dropping that scoreboard comment on him.
But, I mean, those DNs are no joke. Will Anderson, as you know, Joe, is an absolute beast. They'll be lined up on Braxton Jones, which I guess on paper that sounds a little scary, but this is where you need to get Cole Kmet in the game and get some chips on there before you run him out in his little safety valve routes. Maybe this week they do have to run stuff shorter of the sticks instead of going deep as much. Get some easy completions in there, and they need to find a way to run the damn ball versus this Texans team. I mean, you cannot just put it all on Caleb's shoulders to move the ball down the field at all times, especially when he's still learning this offense and figuring it all out. So on paper, I think I like the matchup a little bit more just from our line versus their line. But again, the Texans do have some pretty damn good players in their secondary, just like the Titans did.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good matchup.
Derek Stingley.
We're going to win.
Aziz Al-Shahir.
Aziz Al-Shahir.
It's probably going to be ugly again offensively.
Hear me now.
It's probably going to be ugly for a few weeks for the Bears.
You think it'll be as ugly as last week's game?
No, I think it'll look 5% better.
Ooh. If it's only 5% better, then I think some people will be pressing the panic button on Monday morning.
Yeah, I need like a 20% increase.
They need a decent sized jump this week. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, he threw for 90 yards. 20% would be another 20 yards? That's nothing.
Less than 20 yards.
Yeah.
Even at a 20% increase, your offensive output is still extraordinarily
Dog
good.
shit. No, we need like a 50% output. Good God.
Yeah. No, like I said, they need to figure out how to run the ball this game, chew down some clock a little bit. I mean, really the name of this game has to be, obviously the defense is good, but you got to keep the ball out of Stroud's hands.
Yeah. Help your own defense out.
I mean, the Colts did a pretty good job of getting to Stroud last week, and I do think the Bears can do something similar on defense, but offensively, you're going to need to figure out how to score some points in this because I don't think you're holding the Texans to under 20.
No, yeah, that was what was so impressive about this past week is that the Bears defense responded every single time, especially particularly in the second half, shutting them out. And like it took the Bears offense they had a couple of drives where they got a couple of things going, but really it was just so bad.
It's not even that either, Joe. It's also like the defense is obviously not perfect, and the Titans had probably 2 to 3 chances to hit the Bears with a haymaker, and they just didn't convert, mostly because Levis stinks. But Stroud's not going to miss those deep balls to Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs next week or Nico Collins. So if you blow a coverage, you're probably giving up 6.
It's going to be a problem. What's the line right now?
6.5.
Oh my gosh. We're totally going to cover. We're totally going to win. We're going to win. What's the overall? What's the total?
I'm not looking at it. Chris, do you have it in front of you? I mean,
it is.
I don't hate how we match up with the Texans overall, and I do think we could keep this in a close game, but the Bears don't have a prayer of winning if the offense doesn't get significantly better.
Yeah, we're not. We can't be the same Bears where we can't sustain offensive drives and the defense has to play 70 plays a game. Like, that's just not going to work.
70 perfect plays.
70 perfect plays, yeah, which
Right.
it wasn't. Total's at 46.5. Holy shit, man. The Broncos Steelers total is 37.
Ew.
That's an under for that. That's an under.
I'm playing Bears 21, Texans 20.
We're not giving our predictions yet.
Okay.
We got 19 minutes of filler, Joe.
Really? Well, what do you want to talk about? Well, do you
I
want to talk about Tory Taylor?
Talk about Nico Collins and how he's going to be a problem because that dude's a dog.
Yeah, he is a problem.
And
But
Stephon Diggs caught 2 touchdowns, but I mean, he didn't do a whole lot else. He had 6 for 50, 6 for what do you have?
6 for 33.
6 for 33. Yeah, with 2 touchdowns, 2 bullshit touchdowns.
They're using him as the underneath guy.
3 for 40. Yeah, Collins is the problem. They need. I mean,
I think
JJ,
Tank is a problem too. That man's slippery and hard to cover.
Yeah, I don't like that type of receiver against the Bears, but they handled Ridley pretty well. I mean, Ridley got wide open on one play that I can think of, but
Levis missed a couple times.
Yeah, that's fair.
Levis definitely missed Ridley.
I don't know, man. If defensively, just watching a little bit of what the Colts did last week, I don't really love the Colts kind of similar philosophy to Eberflus, where it's just like get home with 4, and it's just like when you do that and you're dropping that many guys in coverage, you're opening wide open run lanes, and I don't know, you're just putting too much faith in your front 4 to get home on an elite quarterback. You got to blitz him. You got to try and force turnovers in this one. You got to create some havoc. And hey, if they beat you deep a few times, whatever, you got to live with it. But I do think the Bears got to dial it up this week, get after Stroud a little bit, and really, Billings needs to have a monster game to shut Mixon down. I'm not really worried about the Texans' run game in this. I know they went crazy last weekend versus the Colts, but I don't know. I have a lot of faith in this Bears run defense. Really, outside of that one drive last week, the Titans were not running for anything. They really had one just bad drive where they ran down their throat, and that was it.
Yeah, Pollard looked better than I thought he would. And how they attacked the Bears was on the edges. It was a lot of stretch zone, a lot of Pollard outside. It wasn't right up the middle. It wasn't like a Trey Benson type. Trey Benson was like his name last night. Ran all over the freaking Jets.
Trey Mason.
Yeah, Trey Mason. Yeah, I'm getting the kid from Arizona mixed in there. Jordan Mason.
Trey Mason was the I think he was the Rams running back at one point.
Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Jordan Mason and who's the Cardinals rookie? Isn't it Trey Benson?
That's Trey Benson. And then there was a guy named Trey Mason who I think went to Auburn, if I'm correct, Joe, right? Trey Mason.
Well, there was a Derek Mason who played for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, we're just throwing out random names. Trey Mason, though, that's I just mixed them both together and created a real person.
That's right. But
I
don't know.
I mean, if that's the kind of running that's going to be a problem for the Bears, then I'm definitely concerned about the Texans because that's the kind of style they run.
That's what I'm saying. You just gotta keep Kyler in that close slot all game and let him blitz, go crazy blitzing.
Kyler Murray.
No, not that Kyler.
Kyler Gordon sounds like that sounds kind of redneckish. Anyway,
Kyler Gordon does sound like a NASCAR driver.
it does.
Kyler Gordon.
Kyler Gordon out here in the '96 Chevrolet.
So, what are you guys' expectations for the Bears offense in this one? Like in all seriousness, how do you think they rebound from last week?
13 points, 13 offensive points.
You think they just can't throw the ball again, Joe?
I think it's still going to be a timing struggle. I think the timing is still going to be off, and that's going to create some. I think he's going to make more passes, complete more passes than he did this past week. But on the whole, I think we'll all walk away saying, yeah, there's still some work to be done. I think we'll walk away thinking that the timing still has a lot of room to improve. There might be some better off-schedule plays. And I think they probably will work in a couple more simpler concepts. But on the whole, I think we'll walk away thinking, they need to keep working the timing out. Yeah, 13 to 17 offensive points. I know that's like a generic answer, but I feel like they score us 2 offensive touchdowns and maybe a field goal.
What about defensively?
Defense is scoring 20 points. Again, 2 pick sixes.
Now, how many points they giving up?
No, I'm teasing. No,
Is this the Chargers game from last year?
Yeah, I think Diggs and Dell score.
Don't tell me it's the Chargers game from last year. I can't deal with that again.
Yeah, I think it might be an ugly night. Like my objective opinion, like I know I joke around 17-0 all the time, but my objective opinion, I think it might be an ugly night for us Bears fans. I think Jalen Johnson, I think the secondary is going to fight. I think the secondary is going to give it their all for sure. But you look at just the Texans' weapons, and if the Bears' offense is inefficient again, see the problem is that the Titans didn't really take advantage of was how many times you go 3 and out. All right, that's one part, but you kick it off and you give it back to their offense and back to their offense and back to their offense, and the Texans ain't gonna play around with that. The Texans are okay. The Bears will get a stop or 2 or here 3, but the Texans will take advantage if you keep giving them possession. Quick possession back, quick possession. Oh, Bears 3 and out. Quick possession back. And they're going to run up some points. So if the Bears can't find any rhythm offensively, that's going to spell some real problems. Something in my gut's telling me like 33-16, 33-17 Texans.
A shellacking.
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Bears when we go to the end of the show. But
that was your prediction.
Yeah, well, all right. That's kind of what I think. That's kind of if you caught me in an honest moment, that's probably what I'd say.
It's a good time to be a Bears fan. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
It is a good time to be a Bears fan, but I think the Bears fans need to hunker down about 3 to 6 weeks and let the offense get these kinks out and let the defense kind of carry you for a little bit. And when the defense is up against a real good offense this week, so they may give up some points. It may just be one of those weeks where we just are ready for it.
All right, Mr. Krogman, that was a nice in-depth breakdown by Mr. Gaither. What do you think happens in this?
So I think what I said earlier stands true. If they cannot split the time of possession, they're in for a really long night. If Joe's right, if they keep giving them the ball back over and over and over again, it's just time of possession is just gonna opportunities are just gonna happen. You don't even have to be getting your ass kicked and have them run up a ton of points if you just keep giving them opportunities. If they have, the ball for 40 minutes, we're fucked. But if they can get the running game going, use the screen game a little bit better, give Caleb some easy passes, as you alluded to, Luke, then they can hang in this game. It could be a 27-24 or 24-21 game. It's probably going to be closer to what Joe was saying, but these are two good defenses. Having a total of 46.5 is kind of surprising, especially with the 6.5-point spread, which is basically like
26-20.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. 27-21 Texans. That'll be where I'm at. No, we're gonna kick field goals. We don't score too many touchdowns. Let's go. We'll score 2 touchdowns and kick 2 field goals. So yeah, 27-20 sounds nice. Actually, Fairbairn kicks a ton of field goals. So
yeah, they can sneak a lot of field goals with a 27 spotter.
Not really. It's like 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. Yeah, whatever. 27-20. Not us, unfortunately.
Put me down for 21-20 Bears.
No, you already gave your prediction. You said 33-17.
Oh!
Go Bears.
Yeah, I'm not feeling confident, but I don't feel like they're going to get blown out in this one. I do think they'll fix things on offense a little bit. I don't think it'll be great, but I think they'll at least be able to, like you said, Chris, time of possession a little bit more, get the run game a little bit more. And the big thing for me is that I don't think the Texans have that guy in the middle that will completely wreck their game plan and destroy the Bears center, because the Bears center suck. But I think if the Bears are going to win this game, they're probably going to have to turn over Stroud 3 times, like minimum. The likelihood of that happening is slim to none. But the Bears defense is good, so who knows? The wide receivers will probably get them for a few big plays. I do think they'll be able to get to Stroud a few times in the backfield.
Taylor's going to give himself another strip sack.
Okay, yeah, I love it. He'll be going up against Tunsil, right?
Do we think that he run out the same offensive line, or is Ryan Bates going to be the center and Nate Davis back at guard?
Yeah, I have a feeling Ryan Bates might be the center. I think the whole thing of them rotating was to get Ryan Bates in game shape so he could be ready to go in there. And I would imagine after how bad Coleman was, they're going to probably really try and get him to play center next week.
As much as people want to sign somebody, do you see them doing something like that?
No. I think that's why they traded for Bates. I think they really like him. And I think they're just going to I don't know. It's annoying. It's annoying because, out of all the good things Ryan Poles has done for the Bears, his one calling card was supposed to be the offensive line, and it feels like the interior has largely just gone ignored for basically his whole tenure. He signed Nate Davis, and that's looked like a colossal bust so far, and brought in a rotation of centers who suck. So it's a little frustrating that he will do anything besides bring a competent center here, but maybe in time. But the one thing the Bears could do for their rookie quarterback is, keep that interior pressure off him, because that is how you destroy a young man's confidence.
For sure. For sure.
Also, to our point earlier, now I know we're kind of back and forth on this. I do think they're going to make Vilas inactive this week. I think they should probably keep him inactive for a few weeks and just let him get running back reps and then see what happens. But I really want to see what Tyler Scott can do, especially if Rome is – I don't know. Apparently they're saying Rome might play this week. If he does play, I feel like it'll be limited. So get Tyler Scott out there. I mean, he was good for some really big plays in the preseason. And I mean, the Bears could use it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my prediction. I think for the game, I think the Bears keep this close, but they will not win. I do feel pretty good about what you said, Chris, about 27. I'm like 26 points. I'm feeling like 26-20 Texans. I think the Texans are going to kick like a fucking handful of field goals. 4 to be exact, to get to
Jake
26.
Moody did last night.
Yep.
Dickhead. 6 field goals.
There's been
6.
there was 3 kickers in fantasy this week who
He was my opponent's highest scoring player, and he beat Devo single-handedly. Yep.
It's rough.
Yep.
I lost.
It was a good time.
Jake Moody.
Killer. Fucking Jake Moody. Fucking Jake Moody.
I will be joining the Houston Sports Talk podcast tomorrow as a guest to talk the Bears.
Go.
Nice.
So you can hear me there. Another Believe Network affiliate.
Give them the middle finger for us.
Yep. I will do.
Tell them we're coming to.
Said hello.
Yeah, tell them we're coming to NRG to whip their ass, to get their season derailed. So get ready.
And I'm going to tell them get ready for this on Sunday.
Teach speed. Reportedly, Hall of Fame wide receiver Randy Moss said of Tyler Scott, this is the best young receiver to come into the NFL in the last 15 years.
No, we didn't.
In the last
really?
years.
I think that was
really.
I think that was a Sunday Night Football drop too, or something like that. It was one of
I don't
those
think it was I don't know if it was a major publication, but it was pretty.
No, I think that was a Bears local thing.
Oh.
I think it was.
Oh, was it on the news or something? For some reason, I thought it was
Chicago local.
In the last 15 years. Oh,
Which
really?
side of the Barstool versus Bernstein quibble are you guys on?
Well, I was trying to make a joke about that at the very beginning, but nobody laughed.
I didn't even hear it. You fire off so many jokes that I can't keep up. Like you're half talking shit about the Bears, half making jokes about other things. What was the joke?
Oh, I was saying, we got Barry and Krogman here. You can call me Gaither. You guys know me well enough for that.
Oh, that was that. Your joke was the old Burnsy.
Wasn't that the thing?
Dan, yeah, he said you can call me Dan, you can call me Burnsy. You don't know me like that, which makes no sense. Because,
why would he call him Burnsy if you didn't know him like that?
Right, that's the funny part about it. But his show is called Bernstein and somebody. Like it's his last. It's not called Dan and something. Like that's the name of your show, bruh. He's an old curmudgeon. It's pretty funny though.
What did he call me?
I called you motherfucker is what I called you.
All right.
Motherfucker.
Hey, you know what? 20. What are we doing here, Luke? What are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're going all over the place, Krogman.
Dude, I'm getting dizzy. I can't look at that anymore.
Lucas is oh gosh. Well, here's to a week 2 victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with the might so fearlessly. We'll never forget the way you thrill the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears, and let them know why you're wearing the crown. You're the pride and joy of Illinois, Chicago Bears. Bear down.
Go Bears.